Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and keep watching more details. Shannon Beador storms out of Love Hotel dinner in tears after a confrontation about eating vegetables. What do you mean you don't eat vegetables? Who doesn't eat vegetables? It's very important to eat greens, Shannon asked, to which Earl replied. Why do you always look surprised like you want to slap me? Shannon storms Beador is heading for the door. On the May 11 episode of Bravo's Love Hotel, the Real Housewives of Orange County star, 61, ended a group dinner in tears after a conversation about eating vegetables with love interest Earl Thompson escalated into a bigger argument. As the two perused the menu for the night's four-course meal, Earl, 59, dropped a surprise bombshell about his healthy eating habits on Shannon. I don't know why they gave me this, Earl said, referring to the paper menu. I don't eat vegetables. What do you mean you don't eat vegetables? Who doesn't eat vegetables? It's very important to eat greens, Shannon asked, to which Earl replied, and pizza. When the reality star quietly expressed her shock, the vocational expert commented on the quizzical look on her face and asked, Why do you always look surprised like you want to slap me? The night progressed, and Shannon chose to turn her attention to the other suitors at her dinner table. She and Phil began talking about the joys of living in Southern California, when Shannon noticed that Earl had gotten quiet on her left side. You're very quiet, Earl. You need to participate, she quipped. Earl admitted that he was unfamiliar with the topic as someone who's never lived in California. When Shannon suggested he listen and include himself in the conversation, he answered, Why are you being critical? It's like the third time you said something, he continued, admitting he didn't remember Shannon's previous offenses when she asked him to elaborate on how she was being critical. I just felt extremely sensitive for some reason, he added. You're gonna put me in tears right now, Shannon said. It is surprising that you don't eat vegetables. And I'm sorry, in California, everyone eats them. It's very important, so I'm sorry. The mom of two asked why Earl didn't say anything if his feelings were being hurt, to which he replied, We're at a dinner party, sweetie. After their meal, Earl joined Shannon for a private conversation about what went down at the table. The Bravo celebrity explained that Earl's behavior at dinner was a trigger for me, as her previous partners wouldn't properly communicate their feelings and end up punishing her. When you're growing in a relationship, there's going to be landmines that you don't know exist, Earl explained. A few things that you said reminded me of my first wife, and that's a landmine that I didn't see. Shannon asked if his late wife would comment on the lack of vegetables in his diet, to which Earl admitted that she would often criticize me in some way, and then she'd say, No, I didn't say that. It's forgivable for me, I mean it's stupid, he said. Then let's go to the last thing to check off the box to say, make her feel stupid for being upset right now, Shannon continued. I feel like I've been getting to know someone, and I feel like I don't even know who you are. Earl confessed he didn't know why she felt that way, which prompted Shannon to walk away from the neon glow of the Love Hotel's rooftop garden. The evening had promised something sultry, maybe even a little romantic. The twinkle lights strung across potted palms and fox-cherry blossom trees swayed in the breeze, and the air was thick with tension and sesame oil. Real Housewives of Orange County star Shannon Beador had arrived fashionably late, her heels clacking with intentional grace, wearing a silk kimono-style wrap dress with embroidered cranes and a matching aura of defiance. Her partner, visibly nervous, was already seated at a table adorned with steaming miso soup and elegantly arranged sushi boats. But the centerpiece of the meal was something far less glamorous, a modest plate of grilled asparagus. That plate would soon become the catalyst for an explosive scene worthy of a soap opera's climax. Eyewitnesses say it began innocently enough. A server had just placed a dainty cup of matcha next to Shannon when her partner nudged the asparagus toward her and said, Babe, you might want to try some greens. Just one bite. It was as if someone had dropped a microphone into a minefield. Shannon stiffened, her meticulously Botoxed brow twitching almost imperceptibly. A hush fell over the patio. I told you, she said through clenched teeth. I don't do passive-aggressive kale interventions. Her voice was calm, too calm. The kind of calm that comes before hurricanes. The partner, whose sources close to the show claim is a nutritionist moonlighting as a mindfulness coach, chuckled awkwardly and tried to lighten the mood. It's just asparagus. It's not like I'm asking you to do CrossFit in a parking lot. That did it. Shannon's wineglass trembled as she stood, slow and dramatic, like an actress accepting an award for most underappreciated dinner guest. She grabbed her clutch with such force that a single shrimp tail flew off her plate and landed in a nearby couple's hot pot. You don't understand. She burst out, her voice cracking just enough to betray months of pent-up emotional digestion. Every time someone tells me to eat vegetables, I hear my mother's voice judging me for not being perfect. And with that, she turned on her Louboutin heels and stormed out, leaving a stunned table, a weeping garnish of parsley, and a chilled plate of soba noodles behind her. The rooftop's background music, which had been playing lo-fi covers of Taylor Swift songs, shifted jarringly to Boulevard of Broken Dreams by Green Day, as though the universe itself was narrating the collapse of yet another Bravo romance. Patrons whispered in disbelief, though no one was entirely surprised. Shannon has long been known for her emotional intensity, whether it's over feng shui, frozen lemons, or, apparently, roasted vegetables. Back in the lobby, Shannon paused by a heart-shaped mirror near the elevator, dabbing her mascara-streaked cheeks with a cocktail napkin. A staff member timidly offered her a to-go box, which she accepted, before turning to stare into the mirror with the weariness of a woman who's been told just one bite too many times. It's not about the asparagus, she murmured. It's never just about the asparagus. Fans of RHOC will recall that Shannon has a complicated relationship with food. From her on-again, off-again feuds with healthy eating to her often emotional connection with what's on her plate, vegetables have come to symbolize far more than just dietary fiber. For Shannon, they are reminders of control, of expectations, of her ever-shifting identity in a world that scrutinizes every bite, every calorie, every choice. Later that evening, paparazzi caught her exiting the hotel alone, barefoot, holding a designer bag in one hand and a bag of kettle-cooked chips in the other. When asked if the confrontation marked the end of the relationship, she offered a cryptic, "I'm choosing me tonight. Me and my sodium." The internet quickly exploded. Memes were made. Twitter was ablaze with hashtags like #AsparagusGate, #StormingShannon, and #TearsandTempura. Some fans defended her, claiming the emotional trauma around food is real and valid. Others saw it as classic Beador drama, turned up for the cameras. Bravo producers, ever aware of viral gold, were reportedly reviewing the dinner footage for potential inclusion in next season's mid-season trailer. One anonymous editor said, "This has Emmy potential. It's like The Bachelor meets Top Chef with a splash of psychological thriller." Meanwhile, the Love Hotel is said to be considering a limited-time menu item called Shannon's Asparagus, served flaming, on a bed of drama. Back in her Laguna Beach home, sources say Shannon spent the rest of the night wrapped in a heated blanket, watching reruns of The Golden Girls, and sipping a turmeric latte. Her Instagram story later featured a boomerang of her tossing a head of broccoli into the garbage, captioned, "No more green guilt."